Hey everybody. I'm just gonna jump on here for a few minutes. Senator Whitehouse and Jamie Raskins, who are like Raskin, not Raskins. Raskin are two of my favorite people in Washington D.C. One of them is a senator, and Jamie is a representative from Maryland, and um, who's he a very emotional deal. He buried his son the day before January 6th. And so that was like his first day back after burying his son. And then January 6th happened, and his other children were there that day. It was horrible. And my heart goes out to him. He's when they say that all politicians are crooked, Jamie Raskin and Senator Sheldon Whitehouse are proof that no, there are good people who are doing work up there, and they are doing the work for us. They are protecting us the best they can. They're fighting the fastest party, and they're doing everything they can to protect our human rights and our way of life. I mean, uh, of course, I've been showing Senator Whitehouse's scheme speeches over the Supreme Court and the corruption it is brought on. But he also has over 200 and some speeches on climate change. And I think that this I watched this video this morning, but I didn't get to sit still while I was watching it. So this is something to do with big oil. So we're gonna go over there and let's see, start it up, watch it. My mouse is not behaving today for some reason. Okay. Okay, this is Darren Woods. He's the chairman of the ExxonMobil CEO. I don't know.
Came out and supported it. Been very vocal in our support since then.
Big oil used to pretend that climate change wasn't real. The new version is to pretend that they're trying to be part of the solution.
Since 2015, Exxon has publicly claimed to support the Paris Agreement, the biggest international commitment to address climate change in history. But the House Oversight and Senate Budget Committee's joint investigation examining more than 2 million pages of documents revealed an almost comical level of corporate doublespeak to evade the agreement.
A 2019 Exxon memo to CEO Darren Woods urged that an industry document remove reference to the Paris Agreement. Why? Because referencing it could create a potential commitment to advocate on the Paris Agreement goals. Here's America's biggest oil company internally at the highest level, avoiding commitment to the Paris Agreement goals they claim to support.
Pledges to achieve net zero, the universally accepted standard for lowering greenhouse gas emissions, are another way big oil co-opts the language of climate action while blocking progress behind the scenes. Between 2013 and 2018, Shell launched a series of reports with titles straight out of the National Geographic, Sky, Mountains, Oceans, that touted an ambitious plan for the world to achieve net zero. But in a 2020 internal presentation sharing approved messages on net zero emissions, the Shell government relations team carefully instructed lobbyists and employees that they, quote, should not imply or suggest it's a Shell target.
In 2009, Exxon announced a program promoting algae as a new biofuel source that could reduce emissions and launched a massive ad blitz.
Some farms grow food. This one grows fuel.
A series of these ads aired 10,000 times and garnered over 3.7 billion impressions. Exxon spent approximately $175 million on the ad campaign and $350 million on the algae research.
You got that right. Exxon spent half as much on the ads about the research as they did doing the research, and they could have used all that PR money because the research they did do never yielded anything. In one internal 2017 email exchange on this ad blitz, an Exxon research and development executive cautioned that they, quote, need to be mindful that we're not suggesting it's ready to go to large-scale demo.
After all that publicity, Exxon canceled its algae program in 2023.
Big Oil also loves to celebrate natural gas. Since the early 2000s, the oil industry has poured hundreds of millions of dollars into advertising natural gas as a clean and green energy solution.
Liquefied natural gas. It's like tiny, powerful wizards that emit far less CO2 than some other wizards.
There's just one problem. Natural gas isn't clean and it's not green. The main component of natural gas is methane, a greenhouse gas more potent and climate destructive than CO2 due to methane leaks. Some scientists believe natural gas is as harmful to the climate as coal, and Big Oil knows it. In one 2019 email exchange uncovered in our investigation, a BP lobbyist forwarded colleagues an MIT study showing that methane emissions from natural gas offset any climate benefits, adding, quote, "This is an issue that will not go away."
Fossil fuel companies want to disguise natural gas as renewable to lock their fossil fuels into our energy future. But don't take it from us.
I just get so excited seeing these two together. I couldn't get to stop there. These are two of my very favorite lawmakers. I love them. I love Senator Whitehouse, and I love Jamie Raskin. He's awesome. They're both Christians. No. Raskin is a Jew. I'm sorry. Raskin is Jewish. Whitehouse is a Christian. However, both of them are on the Free Thought Caucus, which is a group of lawmakers that has committed themselves to using free thought, and reason and logic in creating laws and maintaining a secular goal, maintaining a secular means and goals for our country. And I appreciate everyone that's on that caucus, whether they're theists or not. They just, that's all I ask. It's just, it's based on, they want to base policy on data and facts and, and not no kind of scripture, which means, that maintains our human rights, most of us women now in the United States no longer have bodily autonomy. It's not protected. And a large part of that is because a certain percentage of our population believes that a soul enters the egg at conception and some light shines and blah, blah, blah. And then, and that each of us are unique and loved by God and all that kind of crazy, just insanity. It has no business in our lawmaking business at all. It has no business there.
Take it from them. Internal BP documents show that ensuring a future for natural gas was their goal. They wanted to, quote, advance and protect the role of gas and BP in the future of the energy conversation by continuing to contrast gas as a low-carbon alternative to coal, harnessing the excitement around renewables by positioning gas as the perfect partner, and highlighting the role of gas as a friend to renewables.
Another internal document advises natural gas should be, quote, a bridge fuel in a low carbon transition and a destination fuel for the long term. That's right, an endless bridge to the land of the carbon kings, where America stays dependent on their polluting products for eternity or until the final climate disaster.
Oil and gas companies claim to support climate policies, but then they use their trade associations to lobby for the opposite. One former Exxon lobbyist was actually caught on tape describing how Exxon uses the American Petroleum Institute, or API, to take the heat for them in Congress.
It's getting our associations to step in and have those conversations and answer those tough questions and be the for lack of a better term, the whipping boy for some of these members of Congress.
Like in 2019, when the Trump administration announced plans to roll back regulations on the greenhouse gas methane. Publicly, even Shell, Exxon, and BP came out against this rollback announcement.
But a witness from API confirmed that the lobbying group paid by those companies lobbied for the methane rule rollback.
The August proposal by EPA you publicly supported, correct?
Correct.
In a 2019 internal email, a BP employee confirmed that rolling back methane emissions regulations was, quote, aligned with our thinking. And with API's urging, the Trump administration indeed rolled back the methane regs.
If you think these episodes are bad, imagine what we might have found if these companies had not completely obstructed the committee's investigation. Several thousand documents that the companies produced were substantially redacted to obscure clearly relevant and potentially critical information, or they were just withheld outright.
So what we've shown you today barely scratches the surface. A complete record is needed to understand the full scope of Big Oil's disinformation campaign. Big Oil executives constantly ask for a seat at the table on climate change policy.
Having a seat at the table, and whether indeed companies like BP actually need to be at the table, I believe, to help the world make this transition.
We've got to see the table and we're contributing.
There's no one company, there's no one industry, there's no one country that has all the answers to this. We want to be a part of that.
And that's going to take collaboration by companies like Shell. Working together is the only way we're going to reach net zero by 2050.
Despite their claims, our landmark investigation shows what they've actually done with their seat at the table. They want to own the whole house and keep everyone else in the dark. Lies, deceit, doublespeak, and obstruction, anything to prevent meaningful action on climate change. So now we're beyond begging for a seat at their table on their property. It's time for America to hold Big Oil accountable.
Sorry, I thought shut it off. So thanks for coming by. Bye.